I grew up in a Christian home and was raised by strong Christian role models, my parents. They started bringing me to church as soon as I was old enough to be in the nursery. I grew up going to Sunday school in Awana. I loved learning about the people of the Bible and the stories, and I also loved learning and memorizing the verses. But I didn't feel happy just going to church and learning about these stories. I felt like something was missing. So one Sunday before I went downstairs for children's church, my parents and sisters were taking communion, and I didn't know what that was. When we got home, I asked my parents why they take communion, and they said because they accepted Christ as their Savior. And I said that I wanted to accept Christ as my Savior, so all three of us prayed a prayer, and I became a Christian when I was 5 years old. All of this was so great, and I was beaming with joy. Then, when I was 10 years old, I went to this camp called Covenant Harbor. One night after the mini-skit and the church service, they told us to go pray on our own. I was in tears because the skit was so powerful. It was about how society pressures us to conform to its image and not God's image for us. It was overwhelming because I felt like I was always trying to conform to society's image. After I got back, I was very happy, and I started to read my Bible more than I did before when I went to camp, and this made me very close with God. I also started listening to K-Love instead of the music that I was listening to before. I discovered this verse that really spoke to me, Philippians 4:10 through 13. I rejoice greatly in the Lord that at last you have renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you have been concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I'm not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content with whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things through him who gives me strength. This verse has spoken to me over the past couple of years. Every time I read it, I get something new out of it. And now God does give me the strength to share my faith with my friends, whether they listen or not. Today I'm getting baptized to publicly proclaim that Jesus is my personal Savior.